John Wayne Gacy was one of America's most notorious serial killers, a man whose life unfolded with a terrifying blend of charm and malevolence. Born on March 17, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois, Gacy was the son of John Stanley Gacy, an alcoholic and often abusive man, and Marion Gacy, a homemaker. Gacy's early years were marked by hardship, with his father regularly belittling and physically abusing him. This tumultuous family environment left lasting scars on the young boy, who would later carry the weight of these experiences into his adult life. As a child, Gacy was shy, overweight, and often the target of bullying. His family lived in a working-class neighborhood, and he struggled to find his place in a world that seemed to reject him. However, his desire for acceptance and attention would become a central theme in his life. Despite the challenges he faced at home, Gacy performed well academically and even briefly found a sense of belonging through various social outlets. In the early 1960s, Gacy's life took a significant turn when he moved to Las Vegas to pursue a career in business. While in Nevada, he worked in a number of jobs, including a stint as a shoe salesman, and tried to build a new identity for himself. Eventually, he returned to Chicago, where he became involved in local Democratic Party politics. Gacy's charm and ability to network allowed him to make connections with influential people, and he even served as a precinct captain for the party. At the same time, he opened a successful chain of Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC franchises, which gave him the financial stability and social stature he had always craved. However, beneath the surface of Gacy's outwardly successful life lay a much darker reality. In 1966, while still married to his first wife, Gacy was arrested for the assault of two young teenage boys. He was convicted of sodomy and sentenced to 10 years in prison. Yet, just 18 months into his sentence, Gacy was released on parole in 1970. This early release would prove to be a tragic turning point, as it marked the beginning of his descent into monstrous behavior. Gacy's return to society was not one of rehabilitation or redemption. Instead, he went on to live in Norwood Park, a suburban neighborhood of Chicago, where he quickly earned a reputation as a community leader. He hosted elaborate parties, dressed as Pogo the Clown, and even entertained children at local events. His public persona as a charming, fun-loving, and philanthropic man hid the horrors that were unfolding behind closed doors. Between 1972 and 1978, Gacy's true nature was revealed in a series of chilling murders. He lured young boys, often runaways or those from troubled backgrounds, into his home with promises of work or money. Once inside, Gacy would overpower them, torture them, and ultimately kill them. He often buried the victims in the crawl space of his home, although some were discarded in nearby rivers. The number of victims is believed to be at least 33, though some estimates suggest it could be higher. Gacy's double life began to unravel in December 1978, when he abducted 15-year-old Robert Piest. Piest's disappearance became the catalyst for the investigation that would bring Gacy's reign of terror to an end. Detectives began to link Gacy to the missing boy and, after a search of his property, uncovered a grotesque scene. In the crawl space beneath his home, authorities discovered the remains of several bodies. Gacy was arrested on December 24, 1978, and charged with multiple murders. During his trial, Gacy's defense team argued that he was insane, attempting to explain his actions as a result of a troubled childhood and psychological issues. However, the evidence against him was overwhelming. Gacy's methodical and calculated approach to his killings, as well as his ability to maintain a normal public life, suggested a man fully aware of his actions. On March 12, 1980, Gacy was convicted of 33 counts of murder, making him one of the most prolific serial killers in American history. He was sentenced to death and spent 14 years on death row at the Menard Correctional Center in Illinois. During this time, Gacy's psychological state remained the subject of much speculation. He continued to maintain his innocence, though his behavior was increasingly erratic. He became infamous for his bizarre attempts to sell paintings he made in prison, many of which featured disturbing images, including a self-portrait of him dressed as Pogo the Clown. John Wayne Gacy was executed by lethal injection on May 10, 1994, at the age of 52. His death marked the end of a dark chapter in American criminal history, but the scars of his actions remain. His case has become a chilling reminder of the evil that can lurk behind a facade of normalcy and charm. Gacy's story has been the subject of countless books, documentaries, and studies on the psychology of serial killers, and his legacy endures as one of the most horrifying figures in the annals of crime. The story of John Wayne Gacy is a cautionary tale. It highlights the importance of vigilance and the need to understand the warning signs of predatory behavior. We must never forget the victims of his crimes. If you found this video informative and disturbing, please like and subscribe for more true crime content. Share this video to raise awareness and help prevent future tragedies. Consider donating to organizations that support victims of violence and abuse. Let's work together to make a difference.